Okay, we're recording. Okay, I'm getting the sonar like symbol coming at me now. This is as concentric circles or waves of energy coming out. I am to repeat what I have just seen. So, what I am seeing is an opening, a doorway, a multi layered aura, like rainbow, like multicolored, like opening. And through this opening is coming a being. The being is white. It appears to be AI. This is not who is communicating with us now, but it is a communications link sent out in front of them for the purpose of initial contact. Following this, these beings themselves come through. Their females are being sent through to me. There are three in particular standing around me now, investigating me, touching me uh, in curiosity, observing, for instance, my hair and the clothing that is upon me. There is a name that is being given to me. This name is Itsa Nitsa. And for the moment, it is unclear whether this name is of an individual being or of this race of beings. They too are white in color. They are very sleek, very fine boned, without much definition to the body. They stand, these females, approximately 5 feet in height. The only identifying characteristic upon them is a tuft of hair that comes up and out from the crown, almost as a ponytail, high on the head here, and no hair elsewhere, just the tuft. And it is a quite long tuft, approximately 5 or 6 inches in length. I am connecting more fully. I am opening and establishing a closer communications link. The colors here are black, purple, pink, silver, and white. This was the color of the initial doorway, the opening through which these beings first came. And they are guiding us now into this same opening. From our space into theirs. There are some others now here joining us, walking back through to their side. One appears to be holding the handles of a wheelbarrow, and yes, there is a child upon this wheelbarrow. Uh, there is some healing that must be done here. They are bringing this one, who is one of their own, from our side back through to theirs for this purpose, the purpose of healing, a type of healing that only they can do, that only their core, their seed energy can address. It is, in effect, a bringing of this one back into the alignment of that which he is. This is a boy, 11 years of age. It is his time to awaken. His time to be activated, to awaken. The timing, it seems, may be slightly sooner than that arranged, but due to the decline in this one's energetic field, the decline in this one's health, it is saying also sanity. He needs the reminder now of who he is, to reconnect and reestablish the line, the lineage, and be made to be aware of why he has come into our space, into the earth space. We are standing in an aura of purple and pink, gray, silver, white, and black. I am asking to enter the field in a more realistic manner. They have been holding me in the more caricature like field or distance from what is their actual ground. I am asking to come more fully, more genuinely into their world, into their true space. I am detecting an open and natural environment. There are many trees, but there are also structures, industry. The buildings are all white. The shapes of the buildings are not like anything we know. The one I am seeing now is round at the base and has a rounded but very upward moving arc to it. It is flat down its back side. I am seeing as a way of moving about and what do we call these? At the airport, you step onto them and it moves you. I can't think of the name.
I think it's a flat escalator, I think it's called.
Mm, let's see if we can call one of them in particular closer to us. When I say the name that has been given, Itsa Nitsa, Immediately, the female is here. There are two of them right now. Each is taking one of my hands and pulling me forward in a particular direction. Hmm. They are offering a healing to me also. We are in a white environment, white being very aligned with my own being. They are asking me to lay down upon a table, a white hospital like bed. I am asking what it is within me they would like to address. One moment. It is an area approximately here that I am seeing first. It is physical issues they are pointing out. I am in agreement and alignment with the healing. It is a sound frequency they are using in this procedure. This sound is being made vocally. There are a few people in the room who it appears are making the sound. One moment. I am falling into another place now, almost as though a sort of anesthetic has been given, almost as though falling into a dream state. However, I might also say falling quite consciously into a low delta wave. Itsa Nitsa is standing very lifelike in the identical space I am, and she is facing me so that my eyes are looking one way and hers 180 degrees the other. She has large, very almond shaped eyes, but also very human like eyes. They are blue. They are much larger than ours. There is not much of an eyelash, but what is there is white. Hmm.
Can you describe more of their facial features?
The head is wide at the sides where the eyes are and narrows significantly down toward the chin. Movements are very graceful. It is almost as though she is floating or moving in water, but really, what I am detecting of the movement is just a movement that is made in such full awareness that each and every micro movement in it is for very distinct purpose. It is having an energetic effect on me.
What does it feel like?
It feels like the open air. It feels like the absence of weight. It feels like ultra slow motion.
How do you feel emotionally here?
No emotion. There is much feeling, but no emotion. There is love. There is kindness. There is gentleness. There is, I want to say, supreme beauty, but it is not quite right. There is much here, but I would not be able to classify this as emotion as we know it. It is a feeling of beingness that is void of pain, that is without harm. The procedure is complete. The reconnection with this lifetime is complete. Mm. There are inner pathways within my earth person being accessed.
What is its purpose?
To speak as they speak would be to make sounds similar to what we might think of as music. As I imagine myself making such a sound, I laugh. I am someone who cannot sing, someone who cannot carry a tune, someone who is perhaps a bit tone deaf. They are making their way through these pathways, clearing these pathways. They are having me focus on the way in which my speaking voice itself has changed since the beginning of my activation to awaken. Bringing to my attention the more harmonious tones now accessed and emitted. It is being suggested that I engage now regularly in a practice known as toning prior to coming to sit prior to coming to these practices. We are in a white and silver cave. There are many of these beings here with me. We are stepping out of the cave into an opening of light. It is beautiful on the outside. There is more color, white and yellows and green. A prairie area of sorts. I am beginning to see a or the outline of a vehicle more common to our own space. I am being returned. Just out there in the sky, just in front of us, is the opening. I am already going through the tunnel. White and soft pink, coming into navy blues and bright sky blue and white, and out into outer space. There are stars all around. I am being given the opportunity to choose the direction that I may choose, where it is I go from here. Can see something. There's a field opening over here. I'm just being pulled in rather by the side. Let's see where we go. Big mushrooms everywhere. Big, colorful mushrooms everywhere. On top of a very red topped mushroom with white spots is a frog, a silver colored frog sitting on a lawn chair, hands behind his head, one foot crossed over the other knee. Something in its mouth is sort of chewing a stick of some sort.
Are they having fun?
I'm having fun seeing this. I'm sort of taking off now. These things are generally to shift the energy within my own energetic and auric field. Bringing in the laughter is in high alignment with my source or seed or soul energy. There's another opening, a doorway of white light is upon a very large silver rock. There is a greeter just out in front of the opening. We're going in quite rapidly. Thank you. We are now in a desert area, a beautiful desert area. I adore the deserts. Let me see if I can get my feet upon the ground. I have human feet. A bit androgynous looking at the moment. I am wearing a white toga. I am walking a very straight line. The line itself is not straight. I am placing each foot directly in front of the other. We do not generally walk in this fashion. I am feeling the dirt beneath my feet. I am wearing no shoes. I am walking toward a large hill. A large, smooth wall of rock. We're going straight through it. I am on the inside now. The inside It's very rounded with archways and lit with golden light. There are two ideas of the light. I am in two simultaneous time flows, significantly far apart. One has the cave lit with fire, the other with the more technological type of light, but very natural and very pleasant. It is not so highly populated in here that I would see many people, but they they are here. There are many people here in the thousands. I am asking what I am doing here. I'm already into the opening of another area, another very white area. It is very large. It is dome shaped. It has windows all around. There are human people here also dressed in white, a female with brown hair, a small child with yellow hair.
What's happening here?
I am traveling somewhere. I am upon the back of an extremely large bird. I feel like I'm losing the original stream. I'm on a roller coaster of sorts now, just riding loops And that's what it felt like back in the white. Like I got caught in a loop. I am maybe still there. I am backing out, back through the white into the cave, to the desert, walking the straight line toward the large rock.
Can you do something different here?
Be more specific.
From the last time you went here, is there something else you could do if I not go a different direction?
There is something else that is happening. Is this what you mean?
Yes, I thought it was repeating the same scene for you, so I thought about doing something different, but just reporting what's happening now.
Originally, before me is the statue of a man also wearing a toga. I am flying directly into this now. I'm done.
Well, that was an interesting trip.
I got bored.
What was the point of taking you in there?
If I could tell you that, I wouldn't have come out.
Right. So, yeah. Were you still with Itsa Nitsa, or did they leave when you went through the tunnel again? Was that experience gone? And you were back in just random places?
I'm not understanding your question.
When you were with Itsa Nitsa, you did the healing. You came out of that, then you went through a tunnel. Was that you leaving
Yep,
Itsa Nitsa? And that was just your guidance just taking you to random places after that?
yep. Very random, huh?
Just random.
Well, I was happy when we landed in the desert.
I was wondering how that was going to go when you went through in. I was wondering what was going to happen.
Yeah, that part was cool.
But
Went right through the rock. We went inside. I love that kind of stuff. No, I was sort of hoping that I could open the channel. Um, oh well.
I thought it was going to happen with when they were giving you when they were accessing you, I thought they were going to shape your vocals to speak. I thought that was maybe going to happen. But it looks like a bit of practice with the toning practice.
Mhm.
Look what that is. Try that for a channel with them. That sounds interesting though. Yeah.
Me making a tone is hilarious. I
I was
can't
going to ask you to do it just for a laugh, just to hear
I
you
can't
go.
make it that's exactly what it would sound like unless they came and took over and were able to manipulate my vocal cords and such. But that's what it would sound like as I started making the tone. Yeah,
I actually thought they were going to start manipulating your vocal cords. That's what I thought they were going to do.
I wouldn't let them.
You wouldn't let them do it.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Not for the purposes of singing.
We wouldn't laugh so much.
Stunning. Yeah, I will. I know that that's what I'm supposed to start doing.
Yeah, you have to let go and just let them come through. Just let go of it. Yeah, that's what you signed up for. Yeah.
They'll have to connect, meaning they'll have to really shift me wholly. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to get my resistance to it. Yeah. You were almost there. They were doing a pretty good job. And I'll always take a healing. This feels so much better, by the way. This whole situation here feels so much better. What happened was I was a casino cocktail waitress for 7 years and carrying very heavy trays and 4-inch heels destroyed my shoulders. Um, so there's a weakness here, and that probably has to do with what's now happening in my spine, which is a curvature in the upper back. So this is why I do inversions and have to do inversions. I'm trying to get that to um, self-correct, recorrect. So yeah, they were working on all of that. Yeah, that's what I need to be able to sit upright more comfortably. They had me to where I was pretty comfortable. I could tell my feet were falling asleep, and I had to move my leg, but I was okay, up here. Yeah, so they were doing well. They'll continue to work on it, I'm sure. Yeah, that was me. Itsa Nitsa is me. We were standing in the exact same space. That's what that was telling me. We were standing in each other's footsteps, each facing the opposite direction, except for I could see her really plainly, but just like really up close. Very beautiful species of being. Yeah, very graceful, very everything not me. Very, very feminine, very female. Um, Even the males, just everything so graceful. And everything, every movement they were making, meaningful. Everything had meaning. Yeah, it was really pretty.
Yeah, I got a lot of information I take. I managed to get a full page of notes about everything. It's interesting though because you answered every question before I asked it. You actually reported exactly what I was about to ask him. What kind of healing is it? How did he do it? And you were talking about sound healing and vocalizing it and stuff.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. I had 5 questions come up and you answered them just as I thought it. So I wonder if she's getting picking up my thoughts or something because you answered it exactly as I thought it. It's interesting how that part went.
yeah,
Yeah,
not me. It's what they showed me. So they were privy to your questions and were showing me how to
yeah.
answer. without you having asked them. Yeah, that's fascinating. Really interesting. Thank you for reporting that.
Yeah, 'cause it was 5 times in a row, one after the other. I thought it, and then you said exactly what I asked. And I was like, wow. Yeah.
When I get in there to an energetic, that degree of an energetic level, that is always really pleasant. But I'm always afraid that I'm going to bliss out literally, because I can feel myself doing it, and I sort of resist going too far into it. What's going to happen if I go all the way into that? Maybe they'll start talking. In the back of my head, there's the sentence, maybe you'll fall straight backward. And they are saying, we will not let you. We will hold you upright. I can actually feel their hands on the back of my shoulders, like the back of a chair right now. That's really nice. Thank you. Uh, yeah, that was a strong, we established a strong connection here. They're still here. Itsa Nitsa. That's a nice, I like the sound of it. It does something when I say it. Itsa Nitsa.
Maybe it will, considering they speak in musical forms, that probably is quite energetic sound, maybe for them. Itsa Nitsa. You have some energy, some effect, probably an energetic effect or something.
Yeah.
Do you think that's for the whole species, or a particular? Did you
Yeah.
get a sense? Mm.
I don't know yet. I'm hearing the phrase "we are a collective." They always are at those levels, always a collective. Yeah, and without names, and so they give us the. But when I was in the meditation before we came here, I was asking for who was available to come forward during the practice today. Uh, so who's set up to come in? And yeah, saw the opening clear. It looks like what's the name of those crystals? They're usually geodes, and when you cut them open, they have very colorful shapes, lines of shapes. I can't think of the name right now, but it was like that. So it was like a cut open crystal and an oval shape in the middle. So you could say an egg. And, the being walked right through it. And I was like, wow. I mean, and it was white. It looked very AI. And um, I said hello, you know, confirmed that it was in alignment with free will and the highest good of everyone, asked it if it would phrase that idea in its own way. And it took me through these visuals in which they were placing hands like this, which is the namaste, you know. Um, and they left the opening in the middle. They didn't press the palms flat together, and that's important. So I understood what they were meaning. Um, and the alignment was indeed there. And then I asked what I could call them or her. It was definitely a female. And it was just right there. Itsa Nitsa, Itsa Nitsa, Itsa Nitsa.
Maybe try that for a mantra.
Yeah. Well, that's to call them by. Yeah. So that's why I love being given a name like that, especially one that's that resonant sounding within myself, and then right there. And then I laid down right before we started and I reconnected to see if they were still here. And they were. I was still questioning the AI thing. And I could see the opening again, the portal again. I could see all the females coming through and I could feel the concept, we're sending you the females first. We don't, that's often to help you feel comfortable. Um, you know, especially as we come from a patriarchy, so sending the men can often seem like being dominant or domineering, and you tell that idea or that energy was there. They didn't want to come across that way. They sent the females first. Often they sent children to me first, my very first OBE, that was a 12, what looked to me like a 12-year-old boy. That was Mesahari. He told Mesahari tells me he's 15, but he looked more like what we would think of as 12. Um, well, he actually didn't say 15. It's really interesting. He said he gave me the idea of the year a boy becomes a man. And I sort of thought in my head that was 15, but maybe it is 12. 12, 13. Who knows?
I think it is these days.
Yeah. So yeah, and they were all there with me. There was three of them, and they were like touching me and exploring my hair and like looking at, touching me and trying to see what things were and what they felt like. So like, oh, this is interesting. And I could see them more clearly. They looked very much like the AI. That was their communications link that they sent out ahead of the females. Yeah, and that's what they had told me when the females came. That was our communications link. Correct. This is not us. This is our communications link with you. Sort of opening up the comms idea. Yeah, and they're very tall, very, very lean, like the arms are like that thin, no muscle definition, but very, very, very elegant, very gorgeous. um, yeah, and then just the one tuft of hair that comes off the female's tuft was, quite long. It sort of goes up and then like that, sort of like a seahorse shape. But it was hair, or hair like, and natural. That wasn't an adornment. That's part of their biology. But that's like the only distinguishing feature that I could see. And no clothes and no discernible. I knew they were female, but not because I was seeing any,
Just a
what we would
feeling.
consider female anatomy. I wasn't. It was very androgynous, um, to our own.
I can't remember. Did you see a male? Did you see a male?
I saw the males when they were taking me back into the portal to their side. Yeah, back into their space. So there was a man. Um, at this point, they're holding me at the distance to where everything appears very caricature like, so it's not lifelike here yet. And they do that out of respect. They don't want to scare you. They don't want your central nervous system, to become agitated. They don't want you to be afraid or scared or anything like that. So they take their time, they acclimate you. And it will go from cartoon like to caricature like to where there are some very real features beginning to show. And then it will be fully physical. Um, yeah. And yeah, we got there when Itsa Nitsa. I think Itsa Nitsa is, I'm just going to say that's the main female that is coming through to me. The me there is Itsa Nitsa. But Itsa Nitsa is probably also the collective. But yeah, there was a man, carrying a white wheelbarrow looking thing. Yeah, and there was the boy was in there.
So is this a human boy? Yeah.
It is one of their race who is here. Like me, I am one of their race also who is here in physicality, in earth physicality.
So
Yeah.
this is a part of your larger fractal being then Itsa
Uh-huh.
Nitsa. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just me there. This is me.
Actually, I'm gagging to have an experience like that, just to feel these different parts of myself in different places. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I can feel her so strongly right now at the solar plexus. Actually, the solar plexus and the perineum. So they might be working on my lower chakras. Yeah, that was interesting. I wish I could have gotten fuller in there. It's hard to get really full in there when I'm talking. If I would have been laying down and just primed to go out of body, I could have done it. Yeah, maybe if I can get through the transition. It's always the vibratory phenomenon that's hard to get through. Even now for me, if I'm doing it in full conscious awareness and it's not, and there without assistance, when it's from my own, okay, I'm going to go in and shift now, not from there, okay, she's ready and we're going to take her on a journey. When, then yeah, it's always going to be, you know, a thing getting through the shift, because I can stay fully conscious through the shift. I want to stay fully conscious through the shift. So I want to make it, if there's anything in there that needs to be addressed, I want to come across it and I want to address it. And that may result in me not getting out of body that time, but it will definitely, over time result in me being able to, shift at will seamlessly pretty much anytime. I don't know if I'll get there in this lifetime, um, but there's a high probability of it. Yeah, they're telling me there's a very high probability of it in the next year and a half.
I think you just keep at it and keep at it. It should,
If they
yeah.
stay on the current trajectory. Well, the work has to be done and changes need to be made. And the experiences that we have to be done in full conscious awareness. That is how they integrate into our biology, into our neural network and neural networking, you know, to the point where, the neural networks are open that allow this, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and a lot of things need to change. Yeah, I already know I have to come more off food for this to happen. Um, and there's a variety of other things too. It takes you, because it is literally a shifting from this life into the next. It is a shifting from what we call this life. Yeah, so you don't, watch TV and you don't mm, get involved in drama and you don't create negative circumstance and you don't hurt anybody and in any way, and that means even sharing your own ideas about things. You just know when to not do it now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Isn't that what we're trying to bring here anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and as I shift out, all of these energies are shifting in. This all happens simultaneously. It's not a one or the other. I am all of this, becoming all of this right here as I'm shifting out, because I'm doing it in full conscious awareness. Those who don't do it in full conscious awareness and do what we call dying, let the body part die, and then come back in another body to continue that work, don't get this on. Not in the way that you do when it's in a single lifetime in a single body. This is very different.
Is this quite a new experience for like most folks? For most,
This has been going on since the dawn of time.
is it? Hmm. So this is something for us all to achieve at some stage in those incarnations.
It's a potentiality that exists for anyone who wants to experience it. No greater glory, truly. No greater glory.
Learn to die before you do. So I think.
No, you don't have to die. Mm-mm. You can let this body alter. You can let this life experience alter. You just have to be willing to make the changes. So many people aren't willing to make the changes. And that's okay. They didn't come here to do this. This isn't what is catching the apple of their eye in this lifetime. It just is what is catching my eye in this lifetime. And it has to do, it's connected with a lifetime from Atlantis. It's connected with a lifetime from Egypt. It's connected with lifetimes as an Essene boy Yeah, there's I'm aware of a few of the it's connected with the lifetime of Sokesh. So I'm becoming aware of the lifetimes that are associated with this lifetime and what we are aimed at experiencing through this and completing with here. 'Cause some of that is um, achievements from those lifetimes, a level of awareness achieved in those lifetimes, not just awareness, but the exemplification of that awareness in those lifetimes. And then a part of it are what we would call errors um, that occurred, and not necessarily by our own hand, but by consensus at that time, such as the fall of Atlantis. So maybe didn't that was a lifetime in which I achieved a very similar um, level that I am in this time. I've been told that this one uh, has a higher probability than that one did because of the fall when it happened.
So maybe the timing's better. The surrounding, well, hopefully, hopefully the timing's better to achieve it this time.
Both very successful lifetimes. Yeah, working with the azurite crystal and the grid lines in that lifetime. Yes. And although I haven't begun consciously working with the grid lines here in this one, that is going on behind the scenes through that lifetime. It's happening right here, right now, connecting and connected with this one. So, yeah, I got more interested in comms, in communications, in the crystal and the crystal communication and the capacity, of moving to a crystalline consciousness and the possibility that exists in all of that. So I got drawn more toward that. But I am concerned, of course, with the grid lines, the entire Earth grid system.
I've
Because
still got homework to do on that to get to grips with all the grid lines and parts. I'm just a little bit familiar, but I haven't connected up with it all yet. Start with
here
crystals myself, but
here in our current timeline, we are in the time frame of another ending of a cycle, of another fall. However, that is at the current moment something that's way out ahead of my lifetime. So I can achieve what it is that I'm aimed at here in this room before I leave it. Society is not going to make things collapse before I've done absolutely all that I could in terms of my own life experience. Yeah. Whereas in that one, not so much so. I feel like I was about 42 when Atlantis fell, and that much more was possible.
what do you think the future prediction in years would be for here? I get a mixed feeling about it. Sometimes I feel it could go all right, and other times not. It feels it's going to go down. It's like favors for me sometimes how it's
It
going to go
goes,
next.
it goes both. There's not the one. Uh, there are people who will stay in a third dimensional frame of reference and they will go down. They will cycle. That world will do what it needs to do to shake off what it needs to and start again. And then there's others who will grow out beyond that grade and who will cycle up and out rather than down. And so they're both occurring because there are individualities which are choosing both, and everyone goes with their own point of focus.
So how does that happen at the same time? you know, how do we cycle up? If so, what would happen? Are we just going to start perceiving different, you know, uh, depending on what we choose, you're just going to start perceiving a different probability collapse sort of thing. We're just going to go, we're going to split between the two, sort of thing.
what each person's experience will be determined by what they themselves are agreeing to experience. So there's some who will cycle up at what we call the moment of death. And there are some, like myself, who will cycle up in full conscious awareness during the lifetime without going through the processes of what we call body death. This is just a conscious shift. I've been doing it since 2009. And this is all in preparation to actualize the event, not just for my own consciousness, but for the consciousness that is this body. Every consciousness cell that helps compose this body, we're all lifting up and out. This is a collective. This collective comes together to form my bodies in many lifetimes. And uh, we are one. We are all at once. No part of this is going down. The entirety of it is going up. Mhm.
So you think of any more incarnations at this level, or you think this lifetime could probably be your last one?
I
Yeah.
don't have the thought of a last one. Um, Once you reach a certain level, then you are fully in service mode. And there's, it's interesting. I identified this even as a young person. I realized I was someone who did not like the concept of the word no. And you'll very rarely hear me say it. And I have had to live an extremely secluded lifetime to have the lifetime that I wanted for myself and also not ever have to say no. Um, and there's creative ways, now I understand what's good for a person and what's not good for a person, and I'm able to help show the reality of a situation to help work my way through things without saying no. But when I was younger, I didn't know how to do that, and so it was a very creative life indeed. But that is not a negative thing. Some people will say, oh, this is something that you have to work on, you have to establish boundaries, but that's not something that I came here for or to do. I came here to exemplify the frequency from which I came. And almost from the get-go, I well, definitely from the get-go, and I didn't set it down to the degree that most do. I did set it down and go on a little ride, but I kept a lot of my initial integrity, meaning, you know, uh, mm, this is hard to say because I'm not positively or negatively oriented at my core. Um, None of us are. But I have awareness of that here, whereas a lot of people do not yet. And they didn't come here to, they came here to have the 3D experience. But because of that, yeah, there's no in me. And that comes from, reaching that area of service. You are part of a larger creative force, and that creative force is you, and it has created you to be in its service, to go serve in the worlds, as we would say, in the realms, as we would say. And there's no in that, or you would be opposing your own innermost self, who has created you for that purpose. You see what I mean? um yeah, it's all hard, it's all very challenging to say. Anyway, Yeah, nice write. I'll have to go back and listen to that again. I'll work on toning. I will continue connecting with Itsa Nitsa, and we'll see if she
Uh,
wants to.
uh, Sounds an interesting development. Sounds an interesting reality, an interesting beings, the sound and the sound healings and stuff. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear it.
All of the ones that we're meeting so far, they're starting with vowels. Istan was first, OL was next, and now Itsa Nitsa. Yeah, interesting concepts. I mean, you couldn't think of these if you tried, right?
No, it's completely alien for want of a better word.
I'm going to do a search on Itsa Nitsa. There's something about it that sounds familiar, you know. So it could be in a language.
I like the sound of it for a meditation mantra. Itsa Nitsa, Itsa. It doesn't make it doesn't mean anything. It's just a sound and just to create
Uh-huh.
the sound. You know, I think it might be a good mantra to have a practice with.
And I like the sound of all their names. Istan. And he says it just like that. Istan. You know, OL. Two distinct sections, not capitalized. He was very clear. This was very clear in the concept when it came through. OL. Literally a little O and a little L. OL. Now, Itsa Nitsa. Yeah. Okay. Well, good, good. I hope there was something in there for you and that you're still having fun with this. If you want to
No,
jump
that
in
was good.
yourself on Monday, Mondays are yours to jump in unless you tell me you want to take a pass, and then I will. Okay? All right.
I'll see how I feel on Monday when I do my one practice, see what I get to over the next few days. I
Yeah.
was just letting you do it so we can get forward quicker, so you get into the challenge quicker.
Well,
Yeah.
helping other people is one of the fastest ways into anything. So, uh, right now you're on the fast end track of things. All right. I will see
Okay.
you around the boards. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll just keep reporting. I'm still doing my dream stuff, but I think it's trying to get me to do the wake back to bed. It keeps waking up middle of the night. I've got the dreams, but I don't get up. I just stay there. But I think it's trying to get me to go up, report, and then do the wake up back to bed for
Of
more awareness.
Yeah,
Second part of the night, I think.
you absolutely have to develop a habit of waking up and writing it down. Yes. The only way to extend the recall is to begin writing something down. And don't be in a rush to get back to bed. Don't think you're going to lose that wave. You're not. The wake back to bed is the fastest way back into the wave.
I was hoping that I was trying not to, because sometimes if I wake up and I stay up, I won't go back to sleep. That's one of the
Don't
problems I have. That's
pre-program
what I don't know.
yourself. Don't pre-program yourself. As soon as you find yourself having that thought, override it and put in a new thought that overrides it. For instance, awake back to bed will take me deeper into the wave than trying to jump right back into it. Okay, so overwrite it
I'll do
always.
that now. If it happens tonight and keeps happening, I'll just stop doing that. I might put the intent in for the wake up back to bed in there before going for the first sleep anyway. I'll do that anyway.
Anytime I wake with recall, anytime I'm cycling through data or have to get up to use the bathroom, I'm going to write down everything I remember each and every time. Sometimes that's 4 times a night. And you will get back in. You'll create a pattern, and you'll create a pattern in which you're doing something that is interesting to you, and you will dive deeper and deeper into that pattern. Program yourself in that way, support yourself in that way, and it will go the way you're wanting it to. You're doing great.
Didn't be unexpected. I didn't expect to go so long, so many days in a row without getting up, but it's been great. Yeah, my sleep's getting longer as well. It was 7 o'clock the other day and 9 o'clock this morning. Kept on sleeping through. Not normally do
And
that.
all of that will lead to you being able to not need the coffee so much and not need other stimulants so much. And changes will begin to be able to be made there. And so you're doing excellent. Just stay with it. That's the whole thing. Stay with it.
Perseverance, keep on cracking, keep on
Steadiness.
trucking.
Steadiness. Yes. Consistency. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. hmm Okay, young master. Onward.
Okay, Sensei.
I'll
See
see
you
you.
later, ladies. See you later.